introduce Jasmine Dowse, who is a business development manager with AmaWaterways. And Jasmine, I will let you get started so you can tell us all about how fantastic European river cruising
All
is.
right. Yes, absolutely. So first, I'd like to welcome everybody and thank you all for listening in today. Very excited to share with you guys a little bit about AmaWaterways, about river cruising, what is the difference, what's so great about it. And so without further ado, I will go ahead and get started on my presentation here. So what I always like to do is start off with this video. So it kind of shows you like a day in the life of river cruising with AmaWaterways. So what I always want to point out for everyone is, a lot of the times, many of you have done ocean cruises. And ocean cruises are great, but usually those things that you like to forego or that you don't really like about ocean cruising, you do get the advantage of taking advantage of these great things in river cruising. So what I'd like to say is that oceans usually take you to the countries, whereas the rivers actually take you through the countries. And that's what really makes a big difference about river cruising is its accessibility. The fact that, I mean, here we have the Amaprina sailing down the Danube going through the Iron Gates. And this ship has the ability to actually just pull on over to the side, to the port, and you be able to disembark, go out to the town. And then what's also, I think, important about river cruising and so attractive is that in Europe, many of these cities developed from the banks of the rivers. So because of that, many of these places that we visit, they're accessible right there from the bank of the river. You can actually just get right off board, walk out into the town, and be able to access a lot of these different highlights. Now, what people really like about river cruising is its inclusiveness. We take care of everything for you from start to finish. So as simple as showing up at the airport, you can purchase your air through AmaWaterways. We can take care of your transfer, take you over to the ship where you embark, you unpack just once and go on your journey. And then every day we provide you with, I'm sorry, it sounds like there's a lot of feedback. Am I okay?
You are okay. I don't hear that on our end.
Okay. And so the inclusiveness is what's really attractive as well as the intimate and personal atmosphere. So with AmaWaterways, we have about 150 passengers on board, whereas some of our, we like to say, friendly competitors on the river will have about 190 or so. But all of our ships are the same size. There's a rule in Europe where your ship cannot be larger than 443 feet. And so based on that, in order to go through the locks. And so all of our ships are the same size. With AmaWaterways, you just get usually a higher level of attention to detail, higher level of service, smaller group excursions because of the fact that we have less people on board, more public space, larger staterooms, things of that sort. Also like to touch on no seasickness. A lot of people do ask that question about seasickness. And the good news about it is on the river, we're moving at a much calm and smoother pace, where there are times when you don't even know that you're actually sailing until you look out the window and actually see the scenery glide by you. And then also I would like to touch on smart casual. Leave the formal wear behind. So AmaWaterways is proud to be one of your more casual river cruise lines, where we like to let the gentlemen know you can leave your jackets at home, you can leave your ties at home, and even for the women, I mean, it's all about being comfortable. When you're on vacation, you like to be comfortable. You don't like to have to worry about having to pack for a formal evening and things of that sort. So we like to have people in that mindset where it's a very laxed atmosphere. Now, a little bit about AmaWaterways in our ships. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but there is a familiar brand called Berlitz. It's like a language school, and they do a lot of other different publications as well. Well, there's a gentleman by the name of Douglas Ward, and he decided to do a European river cruise guide, and he does this river cruise guide every other year. Well, for this year, he rated 310 European river cruise ships. So this is every single river cruise ship that sails down the rivers in Europe. This gentleman decided that out of the 310 river cruise ships, that AmaWaterways ships deserve to take spots numbers 1 through 10. So every single slot 1 through 10 belong to us, as well as spot number 11 and spot number 13 and 14. So this is something that we're really excited about, we're really proud about, and it really speaks volumes to, when you want to know why AmaWaterways. I haven't heard too much about them, I don't know too much about them. Well, here is a gentleman who's completely unbiased, who does a river cruise guide, who lists out all of the different categories of accommodations, facilities, cuisine, hospitalities, and other miscellaneous factors, and decided that AmaWaterways is the best of the best. So we're really, really proud about that. And when you're spending your money and you're investing in a vacation, you do like to go with the best of the best. So we do like to say, that we're proud to say that he's determined that AmaWaterways has the highest rated river cruise ships in Europe. So this is our current fleet in Europe. As you can see, our oldest ship will be 2006, the Amadagio, which we actually decided to retire this year. So our oldest ship is going to be actually the Amalegro. So we like to make sure that we keep our ships up to date. We also ensure that we exhibit the highest quality of our ships, which is why I'm sure all of our ships made it to the top 10 and not one other company was able to make it there. So you'll see on this timeline that we'll only produce maybe 1 or 2 ships per year. And that's because we like to make sure that we are delivering a certain level of quality. And that's going to be consistent over all of our ships. As you can see here, we like to take it nice and slow so that we can ensure quality over quantity. Now this design here is called a double balcony design or a twin balcony design. This design is actually, I would say, exclusive to AmaWaterways. We were the first to implement this design, and now every other river cruise company has now adopted it. So about 80% of our staterooms will have this double balcony design, where you'll have a French balcony, which is over here on the right side, and those sliding glass doors here, they just slide right open. And then right next to it on the left, you have a full outside balcony that has 2 chairs and a table, so you can actually comfortably sit outside there. So again, going back into the number of people we have on board, our staterooms are a lot more spacious than some of the other river cruise companies. So you're looking at your entry level at 160 square feet, with staterooms going all the way up until 350 square feet. Now, AmaWaterways is always about being innovative. As I said, we were the first to come up with this double balcony design, which many other companies have now adopted. In addition to that, we are the first to come out with connecting staterooms, which is great when you're traveling with family or friends, or people that you want to be connected to through that door, as well as triple occupancy, and now we also have quadruple occupancy. So I'm sure we'll start to see some of the other companies now adopt some of those designs on their ships as well. But we are happy to say that AmaWaterways is an innovator in the river cruise industry, always trying to find ways to develop and reinvent and just really push the river cruise industry to be able to accommodate just about everyone. So this here is an image of the connecting stateroom. So it's just a door here that slides right across, and it's a mirror image on both sides. And then for the triple occupancy stateroom, there's going to be this chair here that actually can fold out for a single accommodation. Now, I also like to point out that there is a Mac monitor in each one of our staterooms. On this Mac monitor, you will have direct internet access, which is complimentary. You will also be able to watch some of the latest movies, television shows, listen to music, and there are also cameras on the ship. So you can actually turn those cameras on and tune in from your monitor. Now, I don't necessarily recommend that because you do have the ability to, go to the sun deck or go out to the balcony. But it is nice to just know that you have that available if you want to just hang out in your stateroom. Now, not only do you have direct internet access on the monitor here, we also do have complimentary Wi-Fi throughout the ship where you can connect your devices as well. Now, just a little bit about our amenities. One of my favorites is the sun deck pool with our swim-up bar. One of the great amenities that people really love to take advantage of because it's a great way to really relax. I mean, can you imagine sailing down the Danube River, watching all these monuments and castles and this beautiful landscape pass you by while you're in the wonderful pool having a nice drink and really just enjoying your vacation. So it's nice because it has that swim-up bar, so it's a great place to kind of hang out. We also have a hair salon on board as well as a fitness room. We also have a spa aboard as well. So a few other different amenities for you to take advantage of. A little bit about our dining. So AmaWaterways is the only river cruise line inducted into La Chaîne de Rotisseau and is the world's largest food and wine organization. And it was founded decades ago in Paris. The only way to be a part of this organization is if you are invited. So AmaWaterways is very proud to say that we are the only ones that have been invited based on our culinary excellence. Now, what's really nice about AmaWaterways is what we do is we always make sure that we provide some type of regional specialty so that you can taste a little bit of the food of the regions that you're traveling throughout the cruise, as well as our traditional Western offerings. So if you don't want to go, with the, exquisite, whatever cuisine is available at that time, you can always just go back to your Western offerings and have French fries or a chicken sandwich, chicken strips, things of that sort. So we make sure that we have as many choices as we can available. Now, talking about choices, AmaWaterways is all about the luxury of choice and the luxury of more. Our philosophy is that the more choices that we give you, the better, because then you have the ability to find something that fits what's perfect for you because there's so many different choices available. So for instance, when we're talking about dining for breakfast, you have a menu that you can order from. You have a buffet that you can go around to. There's a cooking station that you can go to. There's an early riser's breakfast that's available, as well as a late riser's breakfast. So all of that's available to you. You choose what time is best for you to eat. Same thing for lunch. We have a full menu for you to order from, a buffet to go around to. We have tapas that are served all day, and we also have a light lunch that's served in the lounge. And then for dinner, we provide, we have our main dining hall, main restaurant, and then in addition to the main restaurant, we also have a specialty restaurant called our Chef's Table Restaurant. Now, our Chef's Table Restaurant is an absolutely guarantee. You have to try it every time you travel with us. It is offered on every single one of our sailings except for on the Amavita on the Douro River. We don't have a Chef's Table Restaurant there because we did not build that ship, as well as in Africa on the Zambezi Queen. So the Chef's Table Restaurant is a specialty restaurant, and we have a 10-course tasting menu. So that's what makes it really exciting. This restaurant fits 28 passengers, and every guest is guaranteed one reservation per sailing free of charge. So you don't have to pay anything extra to eat here at this specialty restaurant, and you are guaranteed one per sailing. Now, if you really, really like your experience and you want to sign up for an additional day, you certainly can once everyone has signed up. And again, that is free of charge. You don't have to pay. Now, it is the same menu that's served every night, but surprisingly enough, because the food is so amazing and exquisite and spectacular, some people are really interested in coming again. So we do welcome you too. What's really nice about this restaurant is the setup. The ambiance is just perfect. So you have around the full aft of the ship, there is floor to ceiling windows. So you can imagine it's dinner time. It's a beautiful sunset. You know, you can usually see the city that you just departed from as you're sailing away from it. And then you can also see the chef preparing your meal for you behind a glass enclosed kitchen. So it's just amazing cuisine with the view, very intimate setting. Before, we used to have just one menu people would choose from. And so, you know, you'll have a fish option or a red meat option or a vegetarian option. But we noticed that, you know, because of this family style seating, everyone would see everyone else's food and everyone wanted to taste everyone else's food. So we like to say there were forks flying all around the table. So we're like, how can we change this? How can we modify to improve this experience here? So that's when we decided to do a tasting menu. So now you can actually taste every single thing that we offer. So you'll have like 3 different appetizers, 3 different desserts, and you'll get to taste all of it. Now, if you don't like it, it's totally okay because it's just a taste. So it really works out. People have absolutely loved it. The first year that we did it was going to be this past year for 2016, and the feedback that we received was phenomenal. So I'm sure that we're going to move forward with this same type of setting here at the Chef's Table restaurant. So you have to make sure to try that out. AmaWaterways is also very health conscious. We always try to make sure that we keep some type of daily mineral water or detox water that's available. We also have vitamin shot smoothies that are available every single morning. And then we also have usually gluten-free snacks are available. We also can accommodate pretty much any diet. So we like to say that the only diet that we cannot confidently 100% accommodate is going to be a true kosher diet. And that's only because our kitchen quarters are just too small. So now that is also a good thing, though, because our kitchen quarters are small. What you'll actually see is the crew disembarking every day to get fresh produce for you to eat for that day or the following. So that's really nice. Very rare that you'll have anything that's frozen on board with AmaWaterways. And so people absolutely love the cuisine, love how we always make sure that we have almost every option available. And then the fact that we do not shy away from food allergies, preferences, and restrictions. So don't hesitate to let us know. We will find a way. I always like to tell a story about a gentleman who really wanted to travel with us, but for whatever reason, he could only eat tuna. And it was odd because it was just this canned tuna. But we really wanted to still have him travel with us. And so we were like, how can we make this happen? So we decided to go ahead and ship the tuna on our ship, and we prepared it for that gentleman every day. So these are the type of things that AmaWaterways does. Our guest satisfaction is our top priority, and we always like to make sure that if we have the power to execute something, that we will. I mentioned this before. We do have a fitness room on board. It's really nice because, again, going back into those small kitchen quarters, what that also means is that we have a baker that's on board, and this baker has to wake up every morning around 3 a.m. to prepare fresh bread for us. It's one of my favorite things. I mean, the croissants are amazing. Muffins, danishes, cinnamon rolls. I mean, anything you can think of, nice and freshly baked. You can smell the bread through the ship. It's a weakness. So, of course, in order to prepare you for all the bread intake, we do have our wellness amenities on board. So there is a fitness room that's available 24/7. We also have the spa, and there's also a walking track on the sun deck that's available. A little bit about AmaWaterways and our tours. So with AmaWaterways, we will provide you with at least 2 to 3 more choices per day of included tours than any other river cruise company. So a lot of the other companies will provide you at least 1 a day. With AmaWaterways, we provide you with at least 2 to 3 a day. So what that does is it provides choices. You can sign up for whichever ones you like. We do guarantee that our tours will run no matter how little or how many wish to sign up for them. Now, each of these tours, wherever we can, we do offer 3 different paces. So we have our Gentle Walkers group, we have our active walkers group, and we have our regular walkers group. So the gentle walkers are for those who may have mobility issues, who may need to move at, a little bit of a slower pace and take frequent rest breaks. And then active walkers for those who want to move at a much quicker speed, cover more ground, and get more free time at the end. Now, you are not stuck with the pace once you sign up for it, so it's totally okay to just, try out one pace one day and switch it up the next day if you wish. What's also great about AmaWaterways is our new guided biking and hiking tours. We've been doing this for the last couple of years, and the response that we received is just wonderful. People absolutely love them. I make sure that every single cruise that I go on, I make sure to take care to make sure to take advantage of both the biking and hiking tours. They're so much fun to see these towns in a different way. So instead of doing a standard walking tour, a motor coach tour, you'll have a guided biking tour where you'll bike through the town and you'll stop at these same different places as you would during a walking tour, but now you're biking. Again, these are no additional costs. They're available to you, and you just have to sign up for them once you get on board. Now, all of our guides are local English-speaking guides. That makes all the difference because when they're local, they can really tell you all of these different tales and pastimes that's been passed down from generation to generation. So it really kind of gets you involved in the culture of the cities that you're visiting. We also offer, as an alternative, something called limited edition tours. So you see there's a picture in the bottom right corner of the screen where there's a few people that are on a tour and they're cooking. So what we will do is say you're well traveled. So a standard city tour of Budapest may not be, the best option for you because you've seen the Parliament, you've seen the Chain Bridge, you don't really want to just kind of go, walk down the banks of the Danube River. And so as an alternative, what we'll provide, again, free of charge, is a more cultural experience where you'll go to a local restaurant and actually do hands-on goulash making. So you'll make goulash, they'll teach you how to do it, and then you'll have it for lunch and then head back to the ship. So these options are also available to you, again, free of charge. So we try to provide you with as many choices as possible so that you can find the tour that fits you best. Now with some of the other companies, they will provide you with one tour a day, but the catch is that tour may not be the tour that you really want to do. So what that does is kind of puts you in this situation where you can either choose to just go with the, choice B or C excursion that they've provided for you, or you can pay extra to go on the one you really want to go on, your choice A excursion. So with AmaWaterways, we never put you in that situation where you have to either compromise your vacation or pay extra. With AmaWaterways, they're all going to be included. So there's only about 5 excursions that are not included, and these excursions are ones that go above and beyond. So I'm saying, like a special Mozart and Strauss concert in the evening, or, a helicopter ride in Africa. These are the kind of things that you'll pay extra for. But the standard city tours, the day-to-day, the things you really want to do, those are all going to be included with AmaWaterways. Now, a little bit about those active adventures. We talk about the biking and hiking. What I really like to point out is this picture in the bottom left corner of the screen. So what's really nice about the hiking is it adds a new dimension to your river cruise experience. So you can take all these wonderful pictures of these monuments and these castles and this beautiful landscape, but then when you have the opportunity yourself to actually hike up to the top of the Passau Castle and take these beautiful aerial images that you see in these brochures and that you see online, it really helps to develop that river cruise experience and that vacation for you. So they're becoming really, really popular, so much so that our new 2018 brochure has a full section dedicated to our biking tour. So you'll have more information about how they're ran, where we go, what we see, and things of that sort. Now, our wine cruise experiences is going to probably be one of my favorites, and it's because it is everything wine. So this is going to be for all of you wine lovers out there. I mean, when I say everything wine, I mean everything wine. You completely indulge. So in the morning, you wake up for breakfast, and you'll have wine. And then you'll go out into the town, you'll have a tour, you'll go to a winery or a local vineyard, and maybe you'll do a wine tasting. and then you'll have some free time, and then you'll head back to the ship for lunch, and of course with lunch you have wine. And then after lunch you'll go to the lobby where there'll be a wine host who is talking about their wine, that's comparing new age wine to old age wine, and of course, more wine, right? And then you have dinner. You go to dinner, more wine. After dinner, you have nightly entertainment. With nightly entertainment, maybe there'll be more wine. So it really, really is about, really kind of just engulfing yourself into this wine experience. And so we do them in Bordeaux, Normandy, the Rhone Valley, the Douro Valley, the Wachau Valley, and the Rhine Valley. Now, what's really great about these is that you get everything that I've been discussing, but on top of that, you get this wine package, basically. So you get the visits to the local vineyards and the private cellars. There's a wine expert host that's on board that's available for lectures. You have wine tastings and food and wine pairings. Now, back in about 2014, we only had about a handful of these sailings. There are only about 5 of them. But now in 2017, there are over 50 days that are dedicated to wine. That's how popular these cruises have become, and the demand has become so high that we feel like we've had to meet it by increasing year after year after year. So if you love wine, this is definitely the way to go. Now, Christmas market cruises. Now, I do have a confession. I used to do this presentation and let everyone know that the Christmas markets are my absolute favorite until I did the Mekong. So I just came back from the Mekong about a week ago, Vietnam and Cambodia, and it stole my heart. But Christmas market still has a number 2 space in my heart. So I will still talk about how amazing they are, how great they are, the joyous feel of the Christmas spirit, just, the ambiance, the feel, the environment, the lights, the trees, all of the different Christmas markets and the families that are really out just celebrating with the holiday cheer. It's just a really feel-good time to go. They always have really great promotions on them. You're seeing all of these wonderful experiences when you're going into the Christmas markets of the tradesmen actually creating their actual craft right there in front of you, carving out wooden ornaments, pounding the steel, roasting hazelnuts, all these different things. And you always have to make sure that you keep some room in your suitcase because you know you're going to buy a bunch of stuff because a lot of the stuff is really nice and one of a kind. And I always get the question about the weather. So yes, I will confirm it is cold. It is Christmas time in Europe. But there is a secret. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but there's something called glühwein. Now this glühwein is this mulled like apple cider based wine that they keep warm for you. And so you'll always see people walking around with the mug. You can almost be sure that that mug has glühwein in it. So I like to say, I'm not sure if it's 100% true, but it probably is how people stay warm there because they always have glühwein. And then, maybe it's, what kind of contributes to a little bit of the joy of the season. Now, I also like to show this video because it just really shows the magic of Europe's Christmas markets, which is really special. So give me a second. I'm going to push play.
And Jasmine, we can't hear the audio on the videos, but it's still beautiful.
Okay. So sorry that you guys couldn't hear that sound because it was wonderful, but really I like the concluding line. It says, it's not about where you go, it's about how you get there that matters. And so, with river cruising, it is how you get there, and you're cruising on our wonderful ships, and it's getting to these destinations and being accessible and being able to get right off. So I always like to show that video. And now for my new favorite, the Mekong. The Mekong Delta, absolutely amazing itinerary. So it's Vietnam and Cambodia. What you'll do is either go from Ho Chi Minh City over to Siem Reap or in the reverse direction. It's a 7-night cruise, and then we have land extensions that you can add on to either make it 10 nights or 15 nights. It's just such a fantastic itinerary because of how immersive it is. The rickshaw rides through Hanoi, the overnight stay in Ha Long Bay, visiting the Vietnamese rice paper workshop, going to the monastery, getting the Buddhist blessings, going into the local villages and having these wonderful people welcoming you into your home and just be so happy that you're there to visit them and really want to take a look into their lives. They're honored to have you there, and just the joy and the genuine spirit of both the Vietnam and the Cambodian people really just warms your heart. And it's one of those destinations that usually isn't one of the ones that are top on your bucket list, but once you go on it and you really experience it, I mean, it is almost mind-blowing just to see how this third world country can be so grateful, so happy, and have such wonderful monuments and temples and things for you to see, that the architecture, the design, and the stories behind it all is just really a wonderful experience. We do also sponsor a school there. So one of the excursions, which is really awesome, is you go to the school, you actually hang out with the kids. And really all that they ask is that you have a conversation with them in English. They all just want to learn English. So, I mean, it was just a fantastic experience. I could not recommend it enough. One of the things we do always like to point out, though, about the cruise is that it's a little bit more adventurous. And so I used to always say this, but now that I've got to actually experience it, I understand that a lot of the times the ports aren't always predetermined. Sometimes you have to use like a wooden plank. You'll have to carve, the crew will carve steps out of the mud. I mean, you see them really getting into the water, trying to lay this foundation. And so, if you have mobility issues or confined to a wheelchair, this may not be the best itinerary. But for those who are really active, adventurous, really up for the challenge, really ready to see, this wonderful, amazing part of the country, I think it's definitely the way to go. Now, on the Amadara, this is the ship that sails down the Mekong River. The Amadara is all twin balcony staterooms, so no matter what level you're on, you're going to receive an outside balcony. And they start at 251 square feet, so very spacious. We also have some of the same amenities, so there's the sun deck pool, which everyone basically lives in because it's so hot and it's a great way to cool off. Usually there's drinks that are served up there, a special bar menu that's served up there. There's a spa, a hair salon, a fitness room, and that wonderful chef's table restaurant is also served here. And then going back into that cuisine, right, we serve local cuisine. So the soups and the rices and the noodles, I mean, it's just amazing, phenomenal cuisine. And also here, we do have a little bit different of a drink offering. So I didn't mention before, but in Europe, we provide unlimited champagne, wine, and beer during your meals. Anything outside of that would be additional. For the Amadara, it's not as easy to disembark and go out into the town and really enjoy, the bars and things like that, which we encourage you to do in Europe. So in Vietnam, it's a little bit different because some of the times you can't get off of the ship and you are confined due to the fact that maybe that port isn't one that we're going to actually be docked up against for the day. And so we do provide complimentary house spirits, local beer, and soft drinks and bottled water all day. And then also for your lunch and dinner, we do provide complimentary wine. So it's really great to have those drinks available, hang out on board, just really relax, see the great scenery behind you, the floating villages. It's just really an amazing experience that I recommend everyone to take advantage of. And then we also have our Chobe River. So we do have a 4-night safari cruise on what we call the Zambezi Queen. It's 4 nights on the Chobe River, and then we have land extension that you add pre and post. And so you can go to Kruger National Park, to Cape Town, Victoria Falls, Johannesburg. There's a Robos Rail extension. There's a East Africa extension where you can go to Tanzania and Arusha. And again, very, very authentic raw experiences, and that's what people really love about our exotics, is really how immersive you get into the culture. What's really nice about the Zambezi Queen is that it's in the Chobe River, and these animals have to come to the banks of the river for water. So they're kind of, the ship has been a part of their environment. They're very familiar with it. They'll come right onto the banks of the river, and you're getting those really raw encounters with the wildlife. And so people really love this itinerary as well. And it's on the Zambezi Queen. This is an image of that Zambezi Queen. Now what's nice about this is that it only fits 28 passengers, so very intimate setting. Much smaller ship, very high-end, luxury, and exclusive product. And same thing here, we do have a sun deck pool as well as some onboard amenities. With your meals, we do include beer and wine, and then of course, regional specialties are also available as well as our traditional Western dishes. About our philosophy, what I really like to go through, we've already talked about all of this. We like to create these unforgettable experiences, paying attention to details, always looking to be innovative, providing as many choices as possible, immaculate award-winning dining, always looking to exceed expectations, nice little heartwarming surprises, and supporting our travel agent community. So Cruise & Co. is one of our travel agent partners that we really love to work with, and we make sure that they are the ones that can really help to make this experience exactly what you want by letting them know what it is that you're looking for, what destinations you're looking to travel, and they finding the perfect fit for you. So we really trust that they are able to help you to create that perfect river cruise experience. And then also, we love what we do. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but I am smiling through this presentation. It's because I love AmaWaterways. I love our river cruises. I love what I do, and I can feel 100% confident and comfortable speaking about the product, traveling on the product, recommending the product, because I know it's a guarantee that you'll love it and it'll be one of those unforgettable experiences that it's almost guaranteed. We almost never, and I don't want to say never because, you don't usually like to say that, but it's very rare that we'll receive any negative feedback about our cruise. When the feedback that we get is negative and say, we wish that you guys had some chocolate cookies on board instead of just the coconut, and so if that's the kind of negative feedback that we receive, then we'll take it. We'll take it. Now, I also like to point out that we have an amazing solo traveler program where we waive the single supplement in our entry-level staterooms. So in Europe, our entry-level staterooms have panoramic windows. In Asia, our entry-level staterooms have balconies, and also in Africa, our entry-level staterooms have balconies. So there is it's capacity controlled per the itinerary and the date, but it is offered for our solo travelers. And we also have a great program where solo travelers can meet one another when they get on board. We have special dining seating plans where there's tables of 5 and tables of 7. There's always one seat left for a solo traveler. You can also receive assistance with planning your shore excursions and programs, as well as there's usually an invitation to dine with the captain. So we do encourage our solo travelers to travel on board with us. So we'll always provide a single supplement waived in the entry-level cabins until that capacity for that particular departure is reached. And then also, in addition to that, we offer about maybe 75 or so dates where we actually will waive the single supplement in any cabin category except for the suites. So, just touch base with your travel agent and they will ensure that you are aware of those particular dates that we're offering that. Now, we also like to provide a special incentive for you guys because I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen and learn a little bit about AmaWaterways and about river cruising and the difference and how we stand out. So if you book your river cruise for either this year or for next year with Cruising Co., then we would like to offer you an exclusive onboard credit of $50 per person. Now, with AmaWaterways, as I said, just about everything is included. So we always get the question, so what is not included? So with AmaWaterways, what's not included is your hard liquor, okay, and then your gratuities. So hard liquor is because we do the unlimited champagne, wine, and beer during your meals. And then for gratuities, we like to make sure that our crew receives every dollar. So it makes it a lot easier to do so when you give it on board, and we're able to give it directly to the crew for doing such a great job, rather than doing it on the front end where sometimes, the conversion and things like that kind of gets in the way of them receiving their full payout. So that's our philosophy on that. And the only other thing are about those 5 other excursions that you may want to pay for. So this onboard credit, you can use it to pay for drinks. Maybe you can use it towards your gratuities if you'd like, or you can use it towards one of those really special excursions if you wish to take advantage of it. Now, this is one of my favorite pictures because right here in the middle, you'll see Rudy Schreiner and Christine Kars, who are 2 of the owners of our company. There's also Gary Murphy, who's not pictured here. But I really just feel like this is kind of the essence of AmaWaterways, that the owners of the company are right there at the forefront. They're right there, very engaged with all of us, the employees, with the staff, with the guests, all the way through, from the top of the chain all the way through to the experience that you receive on board. And because they're so involved, I think it really makes us love our job, and it just shows how much of a wonderful time we have working for AmaWaterways and really getting the word out about this wonderful product. So thank you very much for your time. We look forward to welcoming you all on board. And at this time, I'd like to open it up for questions if anybody has any questions for me.
We have had a few questions come in, Jasmine. One is, can you talk a little bit about traveling with families, particularly with having kids or teenagers on board?
Yeah, absolutely. So with AmaWaterways, we do allow, you have to be 7 years old or older. So 7 or older, we do allow to have on board. And because we have the triple occupancy and quadruple occupancy, we're starting to kind of push that families are welcome on board. And it's just really about what it is that those younger people in your family enjoy doing. So when you're on the younger age, like 7 to maybe I would say 14, it may not be as much stuff on board or activities on board that will really engage and cater to that younger crowd. But if they're really into history, they're really into the arts, they're really into, seeing that history book come to life, that educational portion of it, then it's great for them. And then if you're going any higher than that, so once you get into your teens and your young adult life, absolutely love the cruises because of the fact that you really get to dive into the culture, because of the free time of getting to shop, getting to see all these different places, and then also because we do a lot of overnights. And because we do those overnights, it really allows for people to be able to go out into the town after our nightly entertainment and experience a little bit of the nightlife. So that's nice to go to different shows or, different activities that would, I think, cater to a little bit of a younger crowd.
That's great. Thank you. One of the other questions was, when are the wine cruises?
Well, actually, before, the wine cruises just used to be mostly in like November and March. But now, because of how popular they are, we've decided to do them year-round. So what you'll do is, if you're on like our website, or actually, speaking to one of the agents over at Cruising Co., basically what we would look for is the dates that have an indication by it. It's like a diamond, and that indicates that date is actually a wine cruise date. So we do offer them throughout the year now, But I would say the majority of them are offered more so towards the end of the year, so like October on, and then towards the beginning of the year.
And how far in advance should people plan to book to be able to be sure they get what they want?
Yes. Well, in order to get exactly what you want, I would probably say you want to book about a year in advance. Because the ships are small, with 155 or so in Europe, 120 or so on the Amadara in Vietnam, and only about 24 or so, in Africa, they do book up well in advance. But I'd like to say, like for 2017, we do still have some good availability because we've increased our inventory. So as soon as you're interested, I would say just go start looking at the inventory, start looking at the dates. But usually I would say typically about a year and a half in advance. What's really nice about AmaWaterways is we're very flexible and attractive with our payment terms. So once you're sure that you want to travel, we only require a deposit of $400 per person that locks in the date and the stateroom, and the remainder of the price of that vacation is not due until you're within 90 days, so 3 months before. So when you are booking well in advance, it's really nice that you have that time to make payments and kind of plan for the future.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Jasmine. And if anybody on the call has any other questions, you can reach out to your Cruise & Co. agent, and we will be happy to, the travel consultant will be happy to answer any questions that you might have. And we very much appreciate, Jasmine, we appreciate your time, and we appreciate everybody who joined us tonight, and hope everybody has a opportunity to take advantage of that $50 onboard credit so that they can get an even better value for their travel dollar.
Yes, and thank you so much for having me. I'm very happy to be here and look forward to maybe doing, I actually am going to put together a Mekong presentation just on Vietnam and Cambodia because it was such an amazing trip that I really want to point out some of the highlights. So maybe in the future we can do one that focuses on our exotics.
That sounds wonderful. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a great day, and we appreciate you joining us today.
All righty. Have a good one, everyone. Goodbye.